I looked at the iBrainstorm application.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really like this application. Unfortunately, it's only good for use in iPad, which Min and I had been talking about on Blackboard.
Mm-hmm.
Not all schools have iPads, unfortunately. So that's a huge downfall to this. But
Yeah.
I, but other than that, iBrainstorm is really cool for doing collaborative activities because students can basically just drag their notes onto the iPad and
Mm-hmm.
like type them and different things like that. And it looks like it's just like they put post-it note type of text, as well as they can just do other text as well.
Oh, cool.
And then so they also have it so you can color code it. And
Mm-hmm.
you could do it for, let's say you're doing a project. Um, you can do it as in if you guys have different topics that you have to talk about, so you can color code them to all one topic. Or if there's something that's more important versus something that's not as important, you can color code it that way as well.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like a really good way to organize.
Yeah. And so you can, and then the other thing that you can also do with this too is that you can draw on it yourself, which I think is really good, especially for those tactile learners uh,
Uh-huh.
that need to really interact with their activity. I think this would be a good way to be interacting so they can draw the pictures out or actually write down instead of just typing their notes. So I think that's something that's really useful for it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then differentiation too with different learning
Mhm.
styles.
Yeah. And then also, like, once you've already done the whole collaborative session,
Mm-hmm.
you can share your session. So it's kind of like doing I think it's like kind of doing a video.
Mm-hmm.
And so you share your session. So this way the professor is not, or not the professor, the teacher is not just looking at your finished project. It's also with, again, that differentiation,
Mm-hmm.
looking at the how they've completed it and what they did to get to their final project. So I
Mm-hmm.
really like that too. So you get kind of insight into how they went about deciding how to complete their project. And
Yeah.
I really like this. It's just unfortunate that it is something where you have to use iPads for, because most schools, like, they have computers, or students have phones, but not everybody really has iPads to work with.
Yeah, it sounds like a really big limitation. Like I know our school, we use Chromebooks and laptops, but nothing, no iPads really.
Yeah. And see, the thing is with that is I feel like if it can be used on an iPad, I feel like it should be able to be completed on iPhones. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe if they were able to switch it over where it could be iPad and iPhone, might even be better, just
Now,
because there's another tool.
does the app cost at all any certain amount, or is there a subscription for it, or is it all free?
I thought it was all free. I'm re-looking at it now just to make sure.
I was gonna say if it's free, that's even better.
Yeah. And the thing is too, yeah, it is free.
Good.
So, which is great, because then you don't have to, worry about paying subscription with everything else, especially teachers have to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, and so I don't know. I really like this tool. It's just, again, unfortunate that it has to be on iPad. And the thing with this too is that they have a blog and a Twitter account with it, so you can get updates about iBrainstorm, learn, what's the new cool things about using this piece of technology. So it's not just, here it is, that's all we have for you. They,
Mm-hmm.
constantly are doing two different mediums to speak with their customers as well, so that teachers can interact with people with iBrainstorm to use this collaborative tool.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that does sound good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, so I'll just do one of them. One of the ones I looked at was called Poplet, and it's pretty much just an interactive electronic tech version of a mind map or a semantic map. So again, you
Okay.
have your center circle, and you can just click on plus signs. That'll add a different web to it, so that way you can connect and keep connecting to make just a one giant mind map. Um, the cool thing about it is too is you can add images to this mind map. You can color code it. So specifically, maybe if you have one chain of topics related to the main idea, then you can highlight those and make them all one color. So it's really good for organizing. And then also you can just type it. It's a lot more neater and creative to do for students. Um, so that's it's really good. I saw Juanita was she looked at it at first. I remember on discussion board, and then I took into it, and I actually like it a lot because I constantly using my maps and semantic maps all the time for brainstorming and just vocabulary and main idea concepts. So it's really good for that. The downfall to it is again the subscription thing. You have to have an account for it and a paid subscription for it. Um, a good thing is though it's both for the Android. You can use the online version and the iPhone both. So that's a good thing. It crosses kind of all types of medias, I guess.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
then yeah, that's really the only downfall I see to it is the paid subscription. And of course, if you have a paid subscription, you would have to do it for every single iPad or every single laptop, and it's kind of like, it can
Yeah.
get unless you have a central account, maybe for like a classroom account that your students can log in and do.
Mhm.
So that's a good benefit to it also. Another thing too is it's very printer friendly. The good thing is like as soon as you make your map, you just hit print and it shows you the preview of it. It fits the page and it looks great. So it's really good for, I guess you want to print out a colored version of it as well, just for organization and creativity. So it's really helpful. I liked it a lot when I was going through it.
Yeah. So is it kind of like have you ever used inspiration before?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yep.
Okay. It's just because it sounds like when you're talking about it, it sounds easier than inspiration. Because I just remember with inspiration, you kind of had to place your own, I guess, your own new circles or webs connecting out. And so this
Hmm.
sounds like it just kind of does it for you in a neater way.
Yep, yeah, it does. It pretty much is a central square, and there's four. You can add. You just click the plus sign, and then it'll branch out from that specific square, and that's all you do. Type, hit plus sign, type it out, hit a plus sign, and it keeps branching out for you.
Yeah, that seems a lot easier because like inspiration, I really like that. I'm thinking like when I do concept maps and if I want my own students to write their own or do their own concept maps,
Hmm.
uh, inspiration would definitely be one thing that I would use. Except, with this application, it seems just so much easier because with inspiration, it can start getting complex where a lot of
Hmm.
students might get too involved in trying to actually create the map versus actually just connecting the information. So with this, it seems like connecting the information is a lot easier to do. So they'll focus more on that than on actually building the product.
Yeah, and a good thing is too is I used it because I'm using it for next week from when I teach DNA because we're on biological molecules and matter and energy. So we already went through carbs, proteins, and lipids, and now we're doing DNA, nucleotides, and nucleic acids this upcoming week. So
Yep.
what I did was I actually made kind of a guided form of a mind map. So I added the picture of a DNA symbol, and then pretty much each four branches off of that were questions that I want the students to answer and make their own mind maps with it. So one question is about the history of DNA, like who discovered it or the shape of it, Watson and Crick, and then Ross and Franklin, and then Chargaff did the ACGT rule with the nucleate or with the nitrogenous bases. And then another branch I made, I said list three functions of DNA that we use today for, and then just a lot of stuff. How are proteins and amino acids relating to DNA, and that's the whole concept of codons and that sort of thing. So it's really cool that like I made a template for them. It helps really guide them to and shows them what I want them specifically to talk about in their maps related to DNA. So that's a really good way of doing it too. That I think we'll find out this week if it works, but hopefully, it seems like it's going to be pretty easy for them to guide them with that template that I made. So
Yeah, it seems really cool because I feel like it's not just here just put out answers. It's actually asking questions too, which can help students out. instead of
Mm-hmm.
just writing, having it, what are the three, the different models of DNA, and just do it. Like just having, let's say, models of DNA and then having them do it. You're actually asking questions, so it makes them think about it and not just, I guess, because it can be, because when I was doing concept map with that kind of thing and they had to fill in the bubbles, I felt like they kind of got confused a little bit
Mm-hmm.
in that way. So by writing questions, I feel like it's a lot better. And then you have the template, like you said, which is good to they understand what you're asking.
Yep. Good. Okay, I think that's it. We good?
Yep.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course. See you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.